everyone, myself Lohit Dalal, lecturer, Electronics and Communication Engineering Department, Jain Polytechnic, Belagavi. Today I am going to discuss about digital coding of analog signals. Okay, these are the contents I am going to discuss. First one, quantization process, types of quantizers, quantization noise, compounding process, pulse code modulation, differential pulse code modulation. So next, quantization process. Okay, so quantization process, the process of transforming sampled amplitude value of message signal into a discrete amplitude value is referred as a quantization. Okay, so quantization means you are going to approximate the what analog signal into a discrete format. Discrete values are approximated to the some staircase, some values, okay, some staircase approximated to the next higher value, that is known as a quantization. In a quantization there are two-fold effects will be there. Peak to peak range values, of the input samples is subdivided into a finite set of decision levels, okay, and they are aligned to a risers of the staircase. Okay, so the output is assigned a discrete value selected from finite set of representation levels that they are aligned to a aligned with a trade of staircases. Okay, so whatever the values you are going to approximate, you are assigning, okay, they are assigned in terms of a staircase. Okay, so the quantizer is also, it is not having a any memory. Okay, so it is going to it is going to take the input samples. Okay, just it is going to approximate. Okay, so here in a quantizer it is not having a memory. Okay, so it is a memoryless, just it is going to determine the quantizer output values. So there are different types of quantizers: uniform quantizer, non-uniform quantizer. In uniform quantizer, the quantization levels are uniformly spaced, whereas non-uniform quantizer, the spacing between the levels will be unequal and mostly the relations is logarithmic. The types of uniform quantizers based on input output characteristics, there are mid-rise quantizer and mid-trade quantizer. Okay, so mid-trade quantizer, quantization levels will be odd numbers. Mid-rise quantizer, quantization levels will be even numbers. Okay, you can observe the graphs. This is a mid-rise. Okay, so graph lies in the mid-rise portion. Okay, the value will rise in the mid-rise portion. Okay, so whereas in a mid-trade portion the graph or origin lies in the mid-trade portion. Okay, so this is the input output characteristics of the mid-trade portion and the mid-rise portion. Okay, mid-rise quantizer. So next, quantization noise. Okay, so quantization noise means quantization noise introduces an error defined as the difference between the input signal x of t and output signal y of t. The error is called as an quantization error. Okay, or a quantization noise. Quantization noise is also given by q of t equal to x of t minus y of t. Here x of t is the input signal, y of t is the output signal. Okay, so quantization noise means what? It is the difference between the input signal and the quantized signal. Okay, so there is a error exist. Okay, that error is known as a quantization noise. Okay, and also quantization noise is produced in the transmitter end of a PCM system or a pulse code modulation system. You take it. Okay, so there is the values are rounded or rounding off the sample values of an analog based signal to a nearest permissible representation values of the quantizer. Such a quantizer noise differs from the channel noise in that signal is dependent. Okay, it is a dependent on the input signal. So next, there is a compounding process. Compounding means the process of compression of the signal at the transmitter and expansion at the receiver side, that is known as a compounding, and compounding is also known as a compression and expanding. Okay, so in compounding, higher amplitude analog signals are compressed preceding transmission and then expanded at the receiver. So compounding is performed with the help of three functional block diagrams. These are compressor, uniform quantizer and expander. So the compressor will compresses the dynamic range of the signals so that high dynamic signal can be passed through components of low dynamic range capability. The uniform quantizer will undergo the quantization process of the compression or a compressed signal, and lastly the expander will undergo expansion and inverts the compression function of the compression function to reconstruct the original signal. The expander has a complementary function to reconstruct the original signal. So expander has a complementary function means it is going to expand the compressed data. Okay, so there are some input output characteristics of the compounding as shown in this figure. Okay, so compression and expansion of the and also a linear characteristics of the compounding as shown in the diagram. Graph shows the linear characteristics. It and also the input output characteristics of the compounding, and also the compounding process helps for minimizing the noise, distortion, interference, and reduction in the levels of the crosstalk and disturbance or a collision. Compounding helps in improving the dynamic range of communication systems. Compounding is used in telephony and other audio applications. Okay, that is helpful for compounding. Okay, so next there is a pulse code modulation. So pulse code modulation, it is a method of conversion of analog to digital conversion. Okay, so in pulse code modulation usually we are taking a many number of inputs, and those values are you are going to sample. Okay, the sample and then you are going to quantize and then you are going to encode. Okay, so here 2, 4, 8 like that many number of input signals you are going to take. So the pulse code modulation okay, so it is pulse code modulation, it utilizes the more number of bandwidth. Okay, so because many number of signals it is going to take, and it is going to encode all the signals. Okay, so it consists of its transmitter consists of a low pass filter, sampler, a quantizer, and encoder. Low pass filter is also known as a anti-aliasing filter. So anti-aliasing filter is basically filter used to ensure the input signal to sampler is free from unwanted frequencies. Okay, unwanted frequency components. For most of the applications, these are low pass filters we are going to use. Anti-aliasing filter means there is a low pass filter we are using. So it removes the frequency components of signal which are above the cutoff frequency of the transmitter of the filter. Okay, so the cutoff frequency of the filter is chosen such that it is very close to the input signal only. So sampler unit samples the input signal, and these samples are then given to the quantizer. Quantizer means it is going to quantize the some values. Okay, some levels of the each samples. The quantizer output is given to the encoder. Encoder generates the binary codes for every samples. Okay, so that binary codes are again going to convert it into a pulse code modulated waveforms. Okay, so quantizer output means it is going to get the digital values. Okay, the digital values are again converted into waveform. Okay, so we are naming it as analog to digital converter. Obviously we can name it as a pulse code modulation system as a digital analog to digital converter. That PCM wave is given to the repetitive generator. Okay, so the input of the repetitive generator is a distorted PCM wave. Okay, so repetitive generator, and this repetitive generator consists of a amplifier, equalizer, timing circuit, and decision making device. Okay, so equalization means the regenerative repeater, it is going to shape the received pulses, so it is going to compensate the effect of amplitude and phase distortion produced by the transmission characteristics of the communication channel. Okay, so timing circuit provides the periodic of pulses derived from the received pulses for the sampling. The equalized pulses at the instant of time, whereas the signal to noise ratio is maximum. The decision device is enabled at a sampling times determined by the timing circuit. It makes its decision based on the whether the amplitude of the quantized pulses is pulse noise exceeds a predefined voltage value or not. Okay, so if the voltage value is maximum or minimum depending on the decision device it is going to make. So it is the receiver side, regeneration circuit will be the regenerative repeater. After that there is a decoder is going to convert that waveforms into a digital values. That digital values are binary values or symbols. It is given to the reconstruction filter. It is going to, finally it is going to filters all the values and it is given to the destination. Okay, so this process is known as pulse code modulation process. Okay, so next, differential pulse code modulation. In a differential pulse code modulation, it consists of a, okay, before going to the differential pulse code modulation, let's see here. In a pulse code modulation, many number of inputs we are taking, we are going to encode all the binary in samples. Okay, maximum number of samples I am taking. There are maximum utilization of the bandwidth will be there. In order to avoid that, there are differential pulse code modulation means we are going to take the difference between the samples. Just whatever the sample we have taken, that only one sample is going to be quantized. Okay, different sample to be quantized. Okay, so here x of NTS is the input signal and prediction filter is going to predict the some value. Okay, previous output value will some output to be predicted. Okay, that is a quantized value. Difference between the sampled input and the quantized output, you will get the error signal. That error is to be quantized. Okay, so that you can save the certain amount of bandwidth. Okay, so for the communication, okay, you can save this certain amount of bandwidth. Okay, or okay, so that is the advantage of the differential pulse code modulation. Differential pulse code modulation technique, it is also known as a digital to analog conversion, analog to digital conversion. This technique samples the analog signal and then quantizes the difference between the sampled values, whatever I said. Okay, so it is predicted value, then encodes the signal to the form a digital value. Basic concept of DPCM, usually coding a difference based on the fact that most source signals shows the significant correlation between the successive samples. So encoding uses the redundancy, means redundant to the information in sample values, which implies the lower bit rates. So at the receiver side, again we are using a decoder is going to convert the whatever the waveforms is there, that is going to convert into an analog value or waveforms. Okay, waveforms into a digital value. Then prediction filter is going to predict. Okay, if suppose value 1 is received or in positive value you received or negative values you received. Okay, it is going to check if positive binary data 1 is received, 0 binary data 0 is received, negative value binary data 0 is received. In this way it is going to detect the signals. Okay, so advantage of the DPCM is bandwidth requirement of the DPCM is less compared to the PCM. Okay, so quantization error is reduced because of the prediction filter. Number of bits used to represent the one sample value are also reduced compared to the PCM. Okay, so obviously we are going to reduce the bandwidth. Okay, we are going to save the certain amount of bandwidth. Okay, in whatever we use in PCM. Okay, so some requirement will be less, bandwidth requirement is less in a DPCM.